Pop quiz. What's cooler, the number 4 or the words Ghost Protocol?
President has initiated Ghost Protocol.
What does Ghost Protocol mean? Doesn't matter. It's better. Now, why change the Mission Impossible series naming convention for number 4? Some say it's because they thought it could be a jumping off point for a reboot with Jeremy Renner of Jeremy Renner app fame, but more likely is simply that numbering your sequels was going out of style in the 2010s. For millennia, sequels always had completely new titles. Then came brand awareness and thus numbers. Then came search engine optimization and thus subtitles. And now we have the unwieldy shared universe title. This movie's full name is From the World of John Wick, Ballerina. They're not bringing their best. So then what are the best sequel titles? I have a list, and each entry on the list will reflect a different naming convention, all far more interesting than boring old numbers or subtitles. First up, honorable mention. This is what I call the, hey, wait a second category. That is, I imagine, the collective reaction from audiences in 1980 when they sat down to watch what they thought was only the second Star Wars movie to find out it was actually Episode 5. Remember, originally, A New Hope was just called Star Wars, no episode number, no prequels, no explanation given for why the second movie was number 5. Other examples include the Naked Gun sequels and Thanksgiving 3, also known as the only Thanksgiving sequel. Now on to the top 10. Number 10. An underrated sequel naming convention is the sentence title, when the franchise name combines with a subtitle, sometimes the number, to create a coherent thought. Movies like Step Up to the Streets, Star Trek Into Darkness, and Wicked for Good. In the number 10 slot is my favorite, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. It's a killer subtitle that follows the cliffhanger from the last film.
If you go and brave the weird shores at World's End, you will need a captain who knows those waters.
Neither of the first two movies have a sentence title, so you almost miss it, which kind of makes it more special. The next movie did it again, Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, but the fifth film didn't, which I think is fine. Keep the people on their toes. Number 9. There's one common convention I'll call the switch up. This is where you change one of the words in the title to show a changed setting or character. Last time Snake Plissken escaped from New York, this time he's escaping from LA. We've analyzed this, it's time to analyze that. The best example of this is number 9, the sequel to 3 Men and a Baby, 3 Men and a Little Lady. 3 Men and a Baby is already a great, catchy title that gives you the hook of the movie. And now this one lets you know, well, remember that movie? Now she's grown up. Plus it rhymes with the first movie title. Number 8. Sometimes that boring colon plus subtitle can be used for good. That's when you have a joke subtitle. A perfect example of this is the brilliant Sister Act 2 Back in the Habit. But I have to give number 8 on the list to House 2 The Second Story. A subtitle that almost seems to be extremely boring turns out to be perfectly fitting once you recognize the pun. Number 7. Sometimes a joke title falls into the category of They Had To. Some of the times where they had to include Happy Death Day to You and Ready or Not, Here I Come. A notable time when they had to, but for some reason didn't, is Now You See Me 2, where they forgot to call it Now You Don't and only remembered 10 years later for movie 3. My favorite example of They Had To is number 7, Beethoven's Second. While I've never seen a Beethoven movie, my understanding is that Beethoven is a dog who does not compose music. But I like the idea that this sequel is, in its own way, his second symphony, an artistic statement on par with one of history's greatest musical geniuses. They had to. Number 6. Before numbers became popular, there was a trend I'll call, let's add a word or two. Universal loved this in the 30s and 40s. A more recent example is The Matrix Reloaded. The added word, reloaded, has a dual meaning. Reloading the computer program that is the Matrix. And also they shoot lots of guns and guns need reloading. Plus the simple elegance of just adding one word rather than a blank of a blank kind of title. And for that reason, number 6 goes to Beneath the Planet of the Apes. They could have just called it Beneath the Ape Planet, but you gotta love that they kept that grandiose Planet of the Apes title. It's silly, but adding words on has become a nice tradition going on 6 decades for the series. Beneath is my favorite title of them, not just for setting the trend, but because of its dual meaning. After the twist of the first film, of course you want to dig in and find answers. And also in the movie, they literally just go underground. Number 5. While we have the classic Universal monsters still in mind, let's move on to the crossover title. These days, crossovers are fairly common, with people coming up with all new complicated ways to get across what used to be a simple idea. To that end, my number 5 pick is Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. An absurd premise conveyed concisely. Everything you need to know, 2 comedians being the monster, is right in the title. The fact that there isn't a single character in the movie called Abbott, Costello, or Frankenstein doesn't matter. No one cares. You get it. Number 4 is the confusing lore term. Naturally, when you build a universe, you're going to have names for characters, organizations, and places that are completely made up words. Thing is, when your series is as big as Star Wars, you can call your movie Return of the Jedi because everyone knows what a Jedi is. When your movie is Breakin', maybe not. Number 4, Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. You knew it was coming. The most infamous sequel title of all time. 40 years later, this title reads essentially as complete gibberish. The meaning lost to time. No one remembers the first movie, and no one uses the word break-in to refer to breakdancing. And what the hell is an electric boogaloo? Is it contagious? Anyway, Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. Rhymes. It's a great title. Number 3 is The Same But More. Die Harder. Another 48 hours. More American Graffiti. Cute. Nice work. Doesn't touch the king. Number 3. Legend says James Cameron's pitch for Aliens was writing the name with a $sign. And really, that's all you need. The first Alien was amazing with its unique, terrifying, deadly, titular creature. What if there were more of them? Well, surely it would be one of the best sequels of all time. And it was. Number 2. This is sort of a subcategory. Remember, They Had To? This is They Had To Make the Movie. When the title is just so perfect, you need to make the movie for it, even if you have absolutely no story in mind. As far as I know, there's only one film that exists in this category, and that's why number 2 is Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. A title so perfect, it requires no explanation. It just makes you want to sing. Mamma Mia, here I go again. Number 1. The top spot belongs to a title so singular that it is uncategorizable. I'll just call it A League of Its Own. And that is, of course, number 1, Too Fast, Too Furious. Everything about this is perfect. The play on the Same But More naming convention, using the number 2 instead of the word TOO, the tie-in Ludacris song. Too fast, too furious. The sheer, silly, ridiculous 2003 vibes of everything. And of course the fact that it set the Fast and Furious series on a legendary run of sequel titles that follow absolutely no consistent naming convention besides not having a convention. It's a perfect title. And maybe a perfect movie?
We hungry.
I'll let you decide that one.
I said forget about it, cuz.
Hey, if you like movies, sequels, and or rankings, we have plenty more where that came from, so hit subscribe to Rats on Film, and comment below what you think is the best sequel title of all time. And do not comment about Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End not being a sentence because there's no verb, because I don't care. Thanks.